Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Nigerian News Direct. The major story here says, undersea cable cut cripples bank digital channels business operations. Another story here, IFTA, Tinubu hosts governors, urges them to set aside political differences for nation building. And quickly, another story, housing deficit, we are cutting down on expenses to provide affordable housing to Nigerians. And Prime Minister calls for capital punishment for vandals. EFCC sues Yahaya Bello, nephew, others for alleged 84 billion naira money laundering. Those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. Quickly, we'll move to the Nigerian Tribune. Insecurity, NSA security chiefs, northern governors meet, military working with foreign partners to rescue abducted children, citizens rather. Defense headquarters is saying that. Port Harcourt refinery to begin production in 2 weeks, Kyari says 450,000 barrels of crude delivered. Crude oil production increases in Nigeria, Libya. OPEC has said. Now, Obabalogun Lubadan of Ibadan land joins ancestors. These are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. To the Punch newspaper, school attacks. Bandits demand 1 billion naira for 287 pupils. Issue March the 27th deadline. Kidnappers called on Tuesday, give us 20 days to raise a ransom, says community leader. Hostages held in difficult location used as human shield to prevent bombardment. Defense headquarters is saying. And the picture there is that of the president with some governors during IFTA yesterday. Politics is over. It's time for governors. Tinubu tells governors at IFTA. Nigeria leads as ECOWAS members default on 150 judgments. Many injured, 18 arrested as youth attack Ogun Monarch. Some stories you find on the front page of the Punch newspaper. We move now to this Nigerian newspaper. Still talking about bandits' demand of 1 billion naira ransom for kidnapped 286 school children, and they threatening to kill hostages after 20 days. Now the troops neutralized 213 terrorists, apprehend 283 others in 1 week. And Nigeria seeks fresh $500 million loan from World Bank to support IDPs, others. A report is saying that. Some stories you find on the front page of this Nigerian newspaper. To the New Telegraph, bandits want 287 Kaduna school children ransomed for 1 billion naira. Give 20 days ultimatum. Claim victims move to Zamfara State. Military foreign partners working to free hostages nationwide. Defense headquarters is saying. Northern governors condemn spate of abduction. Enact stiffer laws against kidnappers. First Lady urges National Assembly. Now, Bagudu now stopped 2024 appropriation with 1.2 trillion, says it's within its democratic right, as Atiku demands probe of padded budget allegations. And another story here saying vaccinations could curb high typhoid burden in Nigeria. Others experts are saying this. Some stories you find on the front page of New Telegraph. To the Vanguard now. Still talking about the 287 Kaduna students, abductors demanding 1 billion naira, and they vowing to kill victims in 20 days. And the riders here, military vows to rescue school children, say abduction succeeded because the military was not notified on time. And noted also the school children taking to terrain difficult to access, explains the reasons for upsurge in mass abduction. And SCDC working with others to secure release of Kaduna students. And FCT to use drones to track kidnappers. Wike saying 19 northern governors, NSA service chiefs meet on possible review of security architecture. Now, this story, teachers' welfare packages, government requires 345 billion naira to pay monthly salaries. And those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
First with me is the Syrian Times. Will kill them in 20 days. Terrorists demand 1 billion naira ransom for 286 Kaduna students. Staff kidnap students. taken to locations difficult to get to. That's the DHQ. Olubadan of Ibadan, Lekan Balogun, joins his ancestors. I'm still a PDP member, Wike insists. Man arrested for raping 9-year-old daughter in Adamawa blames alcohol and drugs. Student loan, Tinubu sends fresh bill to House of Reps. Port Harcourt refinery will kickstart operations in 2 weeks. Military man arrested after killing 3-year-old child in suspected ritual murder implicates local businessman. North Korea bans keeping dogs as pets unless they plan to eat them. Nigerian banks affected by damaged submarine cables in West Africa. Next is the Express. Kidnappers of Kaduna students demand 1 billion naira ransom within 20 days. House help kills boss 7 days after assuming work. Baker's throat slit in Lagos apartment. Heart allegedly missing. 17-year-old apprentice dies allegedly by suicide over money theft accusation. Nigerians lambaste Accountant General, commissioners over UK workshop. Federal government charges Miyetti Allah leader with unlawful creation of ethnic militia. Food prices to reduce as CBN resumes agri intervention. Offers 100 billion naira funding to farmers. AIG Imokwede, Pioneer Access Bank CEO, returns to holdings as chairman. On the air of the newspaper, budget padding allegation. Budget backs Ningi as opposition knocks Senate. Next is Leadership Friday. Amid budget controversy, Akpabio's constituency gets 21 billion naira projects. Figures account for projects in only 2 ministries. Student loan bill passes second reading in Senate House. Call for Akpabio's resignation, morally reprehensible, that's according to Senate. Scrap constituency projects if there won't be legal framework that CSO's allegation of padded budget must be investigated. Atiku insists on the bottom strip. No timely report on Kaduna, Sokoto, Borno abductions. Defense. And above the masthead, Aradua emerges chairman Northern Senators Forum. Insecurity. Northern governors meet with NSA service chiefs. Include kidney diseases in NHIS Senate tells executive. The Daily Times is next. Article 6 probe of alleged 3.7 trillion naira budget padding. It's fake allegation, that's according to Senate. Amendment of Student Loan Scheme Act scales second reading. Port Harcourt refinery to start production in 2 weeks. Kyari, First Lady proposes stiffer penalty for kidnappers. EFCC names ex-Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello in alleged diversion of 100 billion naira. And on the bottom strip, Nigeria Stock Exchange Index closes positive as investors gain 27.64 billion naira. Above the nameplate, CBN bars banks from profiting from forex revaluation. That's about it for the Daily Times. Next is the Nation newspaper. Federal government eases access to student loan in new proposal. House kicks over NAFDAC's ban on alcoholic drinks in sachet. Labour plans showdown with state not paying wage award. Only 14 states complying. Rivers paying 30,000 naira. Kwara, Gombe, 10,000 naira. Above the nameplate, Kyari, Port Harcourt refinery resumes production in 2 weeks. Federal government insists discos must recapitalize for efficiency. Government's remodeling ports to raise standard, says Oyetola. That's it. And then Olubadan Oba Moshood Olalekan Balogun passes on. And on the bottom strip, undersea cable cuts cripple internet services. Ex-Oyo lawmaker jailed for fraud. Next is the Guardian newspaper. Japa or modern slavery. How UK visa system, deportation, risk, silence exploited care workers. How UK visa system, deportation risk silence exploited care workers. Federal government, new Student Loan Act, jail term for offenders. Kaduna abductors demand 1 billion naira, threaten to kill victims. Man bags life jail term for introducing neighbor's daughter to pornography. 2 years after ascension, Olubado joins ancestors at 82. Retired officers to sue IGP, scribe over contempt of court order. Akpabio threatened over Ningi's suspension as federal government dismisses budget padding claims. Internet outage cripples business operations in Nigeria. Others. IPOB rejects ranching in Southeast, urges government to defy presidential order. That's about it for the Guardian newspaper. Next is the Nature News, which is the last but not least. 5 million hectares of shea trees grown in Nigeria, NEPC. Lagos State government moves to seize styrofoam in supermarkets. Others. Federal government, Taraba State partners to curb carbon emission. Flooding, Yenagoa residents calls for urgent dredging of Epie Creek. Federal government remains committed in addressing flood and wash. Kamek support Oyo State's move to ban styrofoam usage. Also, 2024 farming season, Shetima launches agri scheme. Farmers get tractors, fertilizers. And then Nature Care unveiling the hidden treasures of mango leaves. And Nature Fact is asking a question: is the moon and the sun the same size? As a poser.
Interesting one there.
The